Nosaltres, representants democràtics del poble de Catalunya, en el lliure exercici del dret d'autodeterminació i d'acord amb el mandat rebut de la ciutadania de Catalunya, constituïm la República Catalana com a estat independent i sobirà de dret democràtic i social.
Aquí comença la nostra independència! Aquí comença la nostra independència!
Era un camino trazado, marcado, explicado, además explicado en sede parlamentaria, de forma muy transparente, muy clara. No fue ninguna conspiración para ninguna rebelión. Fueron todos actos parlamentarios, actos abiertos, transparentes, e invitamos a la gente de Cataluña a ejercer un derecho que tenemos, que es el derecho a la autodeterminación.
Esta nación se ha alzado para decidirlo todo de una vez por todas y todos juntos. Nadie nos podrá parar.
I think in Catalonia we clearly see an example of a form of nationalism that is fueled and reinforced by a very uncompromising and a very polarizing attitude of the central state.
Després de la violència de l'1 d'octubre, després de la presó, després de la repressió.
Y hoy lo han constatado. Sabían que el referéndum era ilegal, improcedente e imposible, pero decidieron seguir adelante y promover un verdadero ataque al Estado de Derecho y al modelo democrático sin que le importase nada ni nadie.
Los estados tienen miedo. Tienen miedo no a la idea de una Cataluña independiente en sí, porque la independencia se ha habido en el pasado y va a haber en el futuro, sino Cataluña como síntoma de algo que no les gusta y que viene, que es un nuevo mundo.
I'm from Belgium, and my mom is Flemish and my father is Walloon. And I grew up south of Brussels. My parents moved there because it was close to their job. And south of Brussels is the French part of the country, but it's close to the Flemish border. Well, I was raised mainly in French, but I was always in contact with the Flemish part of the family through my mother. Belgium is not so easy because it's one of the most densely populated countries in Europe. So we have some nature, but not a lot, not very wild. But I go simply south of Brussels. We have a beautiful forest, so I like to go there to run or to hike. For me, Belgium is a country, and it's made up of different entities. Like we have the Flemish part, which is more of a Germanic culture. We have the French-speaking part, which is more Latin culture. And you also have Brussels now, which is a multicultural city, which is not really Flemish nor Walloon, so it's also different. So Belgium is made up of different parts that are working together at the moment.
We used to be a centralized state dominated by French-speaking people, and we developed towards a federal system where Flanders wanted more autonomy on cultural, linguistic, social, economic powers, and Wallonia did not really want it to change towards more decentralized state. Flanders is more center-right. You have a kind of, the majority in Flanders is more center-right. In Wallonia you see that people are more voting left, center, left, even extreme left. So it's different. That's the reason why we think that the social economic solutions for the problems in Flanders and Wallonia are different. You have higher unemployment in Wallonia. You have another discussion on social security, on pensions in Flanders than in Wallonia. So we think that the solutions for the problems in Flanders and Wallonia are different, and that you need other structures to find solutions for them. Sometimes we say, oh, the Belgians, they are good to find a compromise, but sometimes a compromise is not good, not for Flanders, not for Wallonia, and not for Brussels. And no one is satisfied with the Belgian compromise.
Este lugar se ha creado entre independentistas flamencos de Bruselas. Aquí vienen griegos, vienen kurdas, vienen vascos, vienen catalanes, evidentemente. Políticos francófonos han sido muy inteligentes y han instaurado un sistema federal que tiene muchos bloqueos. Es como decir que a nivel judicial estamos en una jaula, que hay muchos bloqueos que, aun siendo la mayoría, no podemos alterar. Pero ¿cómo es esto que un pueblo que es mayoría en su estado puede sentirse oprimido? Es una gran paradoja que solo se puede comprender por el hecho de que económicamente, antes la parte francófona, la Wallonia, era mucho más próspera y los flamencos éramos los paisanos, los agricultores y la parte mucho menos desarrollada.
In Belgium, this is a specific situation. In the years after the federal election of 2010, the country was in sort of a constitutional crisis. It took 541 days to form a new federal government, which at that time was a world record that was broken. So there was a lot of talk of splitting of the country. There was a lot of speculation in that direction. However, in recent years, the issue of the split of Belgium has gone strongly back to the background of political debate in Belgium. The largest party in the country, and certainly also of Flanders, is still a Flemish nationalist party. It's the N-VA. However, this party has decided after the elections of 2014 to join a Belgian federal government, to temporarily drop demands for more Flemish autonomy, and also to evolve more into a right-wing liberal party that is liberal on socio-economic policies, and at the same time defends more strongly also a quite critical view on immigration.
I'm Flemish and I want to become a Flemish citizen in my independent Flemish state. The main goal of my party is to make sure we have our independent Flemish state and keep that state Flemish, which concerns traditional values, and to stop mass immigration. We're only 60% of the population and we're 80% of the BBP. So we're the economical motor of the country. We have democratically we have the majority. Do you think it's normal that if 60% of the people vote a law, it's not allowed this law in this country because we're Flemish? The majority is not a majority in this country. There is no Belgian identity. We don't have a common history. We don't have a common language. We don't have the same newspapers. We speak different languages. We have our separate democracies. We vote differently. It's an artificial state forced together of two people, and which never became one nation, and it will never become one nation because they're two different people.
The political parties were for the whole Belgium. We had one socialist party for the whole Belgium. Now we have one socialist party for the Flemish part, one socialist party for the French part. And it's the same with the media. We have newspapers, TV channels that are only representing or only broadcasting for one part of the country. And it's the same in the culture, the schools. The schools, they have different, they are managed differently in the different part of the country, so everything is kind of drifting apart on that regards. But the people, they don't have much against each other, but because of this organization that is drifting apart, I think that less and less people are really communicating to each other. So I think it's better to implement politics that puts people together than to separate the people, because the more the people are separate, the more chances you have to get into conflicts.
Well, of course, the Flemish nationalists have strong ties with the Catalan nationalists, and so when Mr. Puigdemont arrived in Belgium, the NVA, the Flemish nationalists, had a bit of a problem, because on the one hand they wanted to support Mr. Puigdemont, but on the other hand they are one of the governing parties in the Belgian federal government, and the three other parties were not necessarily of the same conviction as them, and especially the Prime Minister Charles Michel, of course, also was under pressure from the Spanish state, from the Spanish government, and so the NVA also had to do a balancing act. On the one hand, supporting Mr. Puigdemont and the Catalan nationalists. On the other hand, also not creating a governmental crisis over this, or making things too difficult for the Prime Minister of the government they were participating in.
Yo me siento, no diré en arresto domiciliario, porque no estoy en arresto, pero salgo muy poco. Salgo para actos, para eventos, pero no tengo interés en hacer turismo, ni en socializarme, ni nada de eso. Porque no olvido nunca, cada día cuando me levanto, pienso, no es nada real esto, pero nada realista, pero es mi deber pensarlo, digo, este es el último día que estoy en el exilio. Y mañana vamos a poder volver. Obviamente esto no es realista, pero esto me ayuda a entender qué estoy haciendo aquí. Yo no estoy aquí para desconectarme de allí. Por lo tanto, me he quedado quieto y he continuado haciendo mi trabajo. Pero sí, los cambios son los que la gente ya se puede imaginar. Una situación de estar fuera de tu tierra, de tu gente, de tu familia, de tu paisaje, de tus olores, de tu ciudad. Los sacrificios siempre valen la pena si dan resultados. Es pueril pensar que los grandes cambios se hacen de forma indolora y sin costes. Por tanto, tiene que valer la pena, y creo que vale la pena. Pero sí que me arrepiento de la decisión que decidí el día 10 de octubre. Ahí fue un error que yo lo analizo y no tengo ningún reparo en hablarlo, porque creo que ahí yo me equivoqué cuando decidí suspender los efectos de la Declaración de Independencia. Puedo justificarlo porque lo hice, pero obviamente no salió bien. Lo hice porque, bueno, todo el contacto que teníamos con el gobierno español hasta aquel momento parecía indicar, todas las evidencias, que había voluntad real de iniciar un diálogo. Yo sé que este es un proceso irreversible y Cataluña merece tener otro statu quo, y que el statu quo que tenga tiene que ser sí o sí resultado de la voluntad de los catalanes. El que decidan, incluso formar parte de España, pero tiene que ser una decisión soberana, tiene que ser una decisión que de forma libre adopte el pueblo de Cataluña. Y esto va a ser sí o sí. No es aceptable en la Europa del siglo XXI que hay una comunidad de gente que se está movilizando, que está pidiendo votar, no se le pueda habilitar.
I grew up in a building like in the Baroque, in a castle with lots of art and tiles and sculptures, old masters. So I wanted as a child to become also an old master. So I began restoring old masters. Now we see that the Flemish masters have lots of admiration from abroad. So we think it must be good. It's a painting of Otto Venius. It's the master of Rubens, Peter Paul Rubens. And it's a 16th century painting of the museum, of the Virgin Museum in Antwerp. They asked me to clean the paint because the varnish is gone yellow by getting older. The eyes, they look at you. So when you look here, when you look there, they keep on looking at me. And that I like. It's really a painting that speaks. I feel good with the Wallon people, Wallonie. I feel good with the French. I feel good with the Flemish. I'm not fully Flemish. Here we have Komen, that's Wallonie, that's NO, Hinnehoven, that's Wallonie. You have France, and you have Flanders, all here in 3 points. And I see also the clients that I have for restoration, I feel it. When a client comes from Wallonie, you have time. France, it's in between, it depends. But in Flanders, it must be done quickly and not cheap, and it must not cost a lot, and so it's more a hurry. We pay lots of taxes for the Wallonie, and that is the reason why many Flemish people want to become independent. For me, it's not necessary because we are so small. Belgium is a small country, and when we would split it apart, it's even more small. So I think it's better to stay Belgium like it is now.
paradox concerning Flemish nationalism. On the one hand, we have a Flemish nationalist party, even a quite radical Flemish nationalist party, which is the largest party in Flanders and even the largest party in Belgium. In recent elections, it attracted about 1/3 of the Flemish voters. But at the same time, we see that support for Flemish independence, for an independent Flemish state, is at an all-time low. The most recent studies that have been conducted in 2014, at the same time of the election, showed that only about 5% of the Flemish population supports separatism, supports a split of Belgium.
I think it's mainly political things. It's the politics who are fueling these ideas of independence. When you talk to the people, I think the majority of people are not interested in the independence because it's too complicated to get separated. Belgium that we have now has been made together. I mean, if you want to split, how do you split? How do you split the budget? How do you split the debt of the country? Just from a political and financial and administrative point of view, it just doesn't make sense to split because it would cost time, money and energy to do it. It's easier to stay together. Leitmotif of Belgium is union makes you stronger. Being together makes you stronger, so it makes sense to stay together.